ready to unlock some kind of like linguistic superpower.
Right?
We're diving into German sentence structure today, and
Cool.
trust me, it's way cooler than it sounds, I think.
Yeah.
So, where do we even begin with a language that seems to defy all the rules, like German?
Well, it's like having a secret communication code, right? Once you understand the logic behind it, even the most complex German sentences, they'll just kind of like make sense.
Yeah, right.
So it all starts with like a simple sentence, like Ich stehe den Baum, I see the tree.
Okay.
And you can see how it all follows that same like subject, verb, object order as English.
Okay, so far so good.
Right.
But I have a feeling things are about to get a little crazy, right?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Vorfeld.
Yeah.
That's the magical first position in a German sentence.
Okay.
You know, imagine having the power to control what your listener focuses on first. Like, say you want to emphasize the tree. Easy. You just put den Baum at the start. Den Baum sehe ich.
Wait, so just by changing the word order, you change what's emphasized? That's kind of cool.
Exactly.
Can't do that.
It's all about, conveying like nuance and intention through where you put the words.
I like it.
And this ability to shift emphasis.
Yeah.
That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to German sentence structure.
Okay.
It's like a puzzle where every element has its place.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Separable verbs.
Oh, yes. Those notorious separable verbs, they intimidated me at first, I'll be
I
honest.
understand. They can seem strange at first glance, right?
Yeah.
So think of a verb like angekommen, meaning arrived.
Okay.
It's made up of an, komm, and en.
Okay.
Now, in a sentence like, the king has arrived at the castle, the an separates, and it goes all the way to the end.
Wow.
Der König ist an der Burg angekommen.
So the verb literally splits into, it's like a word doing a magic trick. What's the method behind this grammatical madness?
It's all about the timing, you see, placement, that little and, it's like a homing beacon,
Okay.
It's always finding its way to the end of the sentence clause.
Wow.
It's like very consistent,
Okay.
even as other parts of the verb might shuffle around.
Yeah. Fair.
Depending on the tense.
So it's not just like word chaos then. There's like a method to the madness.
Precisely. This brings us to another fascinating aspect of German sentence structure.
Okay.
The middle field.
The middle field. Okay.
Or midfield. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So remember how we talked about Vorfeld being like the spotlight?
Right.
Middle field is like the stage where all the action unfolds.
Okay.
It's that space, between the Vorfeld and that final verb.
Yeah.
And it's where German allows for more flexibility in word order.
Flexibility. That sounds a little dangerous.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be, but used wisely, it adds, a whole other layer of meaning.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So one way that German uses this flexibility is by building suspense, like a good story.
Okay.
So imagine you're telling someone, right, that you're going to the movies on Thursday.
Yeah.
In German, you could say, Wir gehen am Donnerstag ins Kino.
Okay.
Notice how the most important information, like going to the movies, comes at the end.
Oh, so it's like the sentence structure itself is kind of like creating a mini narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to emphasize
that
you're going on Thursday, you could, rearrange the Mittelfeld. Am Donnerstag gehen wir ins Kino.
So Thursday takes center stage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. So German lets you like subtly shift the focus of a sentence just by rearranging the words. It's like a linguistic choose your own adventure.
I like it.
But this freedom of word order, though it's got limits, right?
You're absolutely right. There are like specific rules, especially when you're dealing with pronouns in the middle field.
Okay.
So for example, like the placement of direct and indirect object pronouns changes depending on whether the direct object is a noun or a pronoun.
Oh, okay.
It's like a very delicate dance, right?
Oh, okay.
With each pronoun having its designated spot.
Okay, that's where my brain starts to like feel a little overloaded.
Sure.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But man, Germans, they sure like their rules, don't they?
It's all about precision, right? And clarity. And speaking of precision, we haven't even like touched on dependent clauses yet, right?
Like
those intricate substructures within a sentence.
Ah, yes, those clauses that like add layers upon layers to a sentence, like linguistic onion rings.
A delicious analogy.
I like it.
So remember how the verb, loves to hang out at the end? in independent clauses?
Yeah.
Well, independent clauses, the verb goes on a little journey to the very end, even further back, right?
Okay.
We call this V final word order.
V final, as in like the verb is always final.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm really curious.
Okay.
Give me an example of this this grammatical switcheroo.
Okay, let's say you want to say, I know that he is here.
Okay.
In German, that would be, ich weiß, dass hier ist.
Okay.
Notice how the verb ist, meaning is, ends up at the very, very end of that dependent clause.
I see it. And the word das, meaning that, is kind of like a signal flag, like it's telling us we're entering a dependent clause now.
Exactly.
And the verb is about to embark on its journey to the back of the line.
Yes.
It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Well, I love her.
With each part of the sentence knowing its precise steps.
What a fantastic way to put it. And speaking of choreography, German has even more intricate moves when it comes to relative clauses.
Yeah. So relative clauses they're like those little side quests you get in a video game. They kind of like add those extra details like to the main narrative.
Precisely. They're like these pop-up windows, right?
Yeah.
In a sentence.
Yeah.
They give us just a little bit more information about a noun.
Okay.
And just like any good side quest, they come with their own set of rules and challenges.
Okay, hit me with those challenges.
Okay.
What makes relative clauses in German so unique?
Well, for starters, we have a choice of relative pronouns we can use. We have der, die, das, or welcher, welcher, welches.
Okay.
Both essentially mean like what, which, or that. Okay. But they have, slightly different vibes.
So it's like choosing between like two different paths to get to the same destination.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference in vibe, though?
Think of, like, der, die, das as your reliable, like, everyday of relative pronouns, right?
Okay.
They're straightforward and efficient. Welcher, welcher, welches, on the other hand.
Yeah.
They're like your more formal, elegant cousins.
Oh.
They add just like a touch of sophistication.
Okay.
They're often used more in writing or speeches, right?
So it's like choosing between saying like the house that Jack built.
Right.
Or like the house, which I might add won an award for its innovative design.
Exactly.
Both get the point across, but one is just a little bit.
Yeah, one's a little fancier.
Yeah, one's a little fancier.
Right.
A little more dramatic. Maybe?
Exactly. And just when you think you've mastered, the art of relative pronouns.
Right.
German throws in a curveball, the genitive case.
Oh, right.
Remember those possessive forms?
Oh, yeah. Those possessive heavy hitters. They always make my head spin.
Like descenderenden.
Yeah.
They can be a little tricky, but there's a system to the madness.
Okay.
It all depends on the gender and number, right, of the noun that they're describing.
Right.
So, for example, the man whose car is parked outside would use, like, descend.
Okay.
Because car is masculine in German.
Right. Okay. So it's like each relative pronoun has, like, its own unique key to unlock that genitive case.
Right.
And speaking of unlocking things, what about that mysterious was that sometimes pops up as a relative pronoun? It's like finding a secret passageway in a maze.
You've stumbled upon, one of the most intriguing aspects of German relative clauses.
Hit me with it.
So was comes into play, right?
Okay.
When we're dealing with indefinite pronouns like alles, etwas, and nix, everything, something, and nothing. So
it's like was has a special connection to like those all-encompassing words.
Yes, exactly.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm having trouble picturing this in action.
Okay, imagine you want to say something like, everything that Jack does is a success.
Okay.
The German sentence would be, alles, was Jack macht, gelingt ihm.
Alles, was Jack macht, gelingt ihm out.
Okay.
Yes.
I see it.
Yeah.
So what is kind of like seamlessly links that idea of everything.
It's a bridge.
To the action that comes after.
Yes.
Like a linguistic bridge, connecting those different parts of the sentence.
Precisely. And that's what makes German sentence structure so captivating.
Right.
It's this like intricate dance, right? Of rules and flexibility where like every word and every grammatical element plays like a very specific role in conveying the meaning.
I have to say, this deep dive into German sentence structure has been it's been a wild ride, I'll say that.
It has been a journey, hasn't it?
Who knew grammar could be so fascinating?
That's
We've gone from like the spotlight of the Vorfeld to the like action-packed Mittelfeld.
Explored the verb's journey to the end of the line.
It's quite a journey.
And even like navigated the labyrinth of relative clauses and all their different rules.
There are so many twists and turns.
Oh, I know. It's incredible.
But you know what? More importantly, like we've gained an appreciation, I think, for the logic and the elegance behind German grammar.
It's true.
It's not just about memorizing rules, right? It's about understanding like the thought process that goes into crafting each sentence, you know.
I like that it's like we've unlocked a secret code, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Almost like a way of thinking. Even it gives us this like deeper understanding, not only of like the German language itself, but also like the power and beauty of language in general.
Beautifully said.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it, you know?
It is. It is.
So to our listeners, we leave you with this thought. How does understanding the structure of another language, like we've been talking about with German, how does that change the way that you think about and appreciate your own language?
It's a great question.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.